This video is about Thor challenges giant until hammer breaks. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. In the realm of Asgard, where golden halls gleamed under the watchful gaze of Valhalla, the air crackled with anticipation. The gods gathered atop the high cliffs, their laughter mingling with the wind. Among them stood Thor, the god of thunder, his eyes like storm clouds, fierce and determined. Yet beneath the revelry brewed a tempest of dark whispers. Rumors of giants gathering in the mountains reached Asgard, an omen that threatened the fragile peace between realms. The giants, beings of immense power and cunning, sought to claim the treasures of Asgard, and their leader, Jotunheim's fiercest warrior, Hrungnir, had sent forth a challenge that echoed through the valleys. Thor, son of Odin, where's your might? The boomed Hrungnir's voice carried on the icy winds. Come forth and prove your strength against the greatest of giants. Will you cower in your halls, or meet me in battle? The gods fell silent, eyes fixed on Thor, who clenched Mjolnir, his enchanted hammer, as if it were the very pulse of their world. I will meet him, Thor declared, his voice a thunderous promise. The giant shall know the wrath of the thunder god. With determination coursing through his veins, Thor donned his battle attire, a cloak spun from the feathers of the great eagle, his gauntlets imbued with the strength of the earth, and a helmet forged from the deepest iron. As he strode toward the edge of the cliff, the sky darkened overhead, a fitting backdrop for an impending battle. Be cautious, brother, urged Loki, the trickster god, a mischievous glint in his eyes. Hrungnir is not merely a giant, he carries a heart of stone and a mind as sharp as a serpent's fang. He may lure you into a trap. Thor's gaze hardened. If he wishes for duel, then I shall not shy from it. It is honor that guides me, not fear. With that, he leapt from the heights of Asgard, summoning the winds to embrace him. Lightning crackled around him, illuminating the path as he descended into the great expanse, where the mountains loomed like ancient giants themselves, their peaks piercing the heavens. As Thor reached the valley, the earth trembled beneath his feet, a harbinger of the battle to come. Hrungnir awaited him, a colossus of flesh and stone, towering over the landscape, his muscles rippling like boulders. The giant's eyes glinted with malice, and he grasped a massive stone shield the size of a ship vessel. Welcome, Thunder God. Hrungnir roared, his voice a seismic force that echoed through the valley. Do you truly believe you can best me? My size is matched only by my strength. Size means nothing against the power of thunder. Thor shouted back, raising Mjolnir high. The hammer glowed with an ethereal light, crackling with energy. Let us see who stands victorious this day. With a furious clash, the two titans charged toward one another, the ground quaking beneath their feet. The moment they met, a shockwave erupted, sending dust and debris spiraling into the air. Thor swung Mjolnir, the hammer slicing through the air, but Hrungnir blocked it with his stone shield, the sound of metal against rock reverberating like a war drum. Is that all you have? Hrungnir laughed, the sound echoing ominously. You were but a child playing with thunder. But Thor, fueled by the fury of 1,000 storms, retaliated with a flurry of strikes, each swing more powerful than the last. Lightning erupted from Mjolnir, illuminating the valley in blinding brilliance, casting shadows of fear upon the giants watching from the mountains. With each blow, Thor felt the pulse of fate intertwining with his spirit. He was not merely fighting for victory, he was fighting for the honor of Asgard, to protect his home and the legacy of the Aesir. His heart thundered in rhythm with the storm, the essence of the universe guiding him. As the duel raged on, the giants that had come to witness the battle roared in excitement, their voices a cacophony of taunts and jeers. Yet, deep within their hearts, a flicker of doubt began to ignite. They had underestimated Thor. In a moment of vulnerability, Hrungnir surged forward, sweeping the ground with his shield to unbalance Thor. The thunder god stumbled, and the giant seized the opportunity. With a swift motion, Hrungnir hurled a massive rock aimed directly at Thor's head. The world slowed for a heartbeat as Thor's instincts kicked in. He raised Mjolnir just in time, deflecting the rock, but the impact sent him staggering backward. The ground beneath him split, a visible crack forming, as if the earth mourned his momentary falter. Strike harder. God of thunder, you fight like a man with no resolve. Hrungnir bellowed, his confidence swelling like a tidal wave. But Thor, ignited by the giant's taunts, rose to his feet, shaking off the dust of defeat. You mistake my struggle for weakness, Hrungnir. I am forged in the fires of battle. I will not yield. With renewed vigor, Thor summoned the storm clouds above, the sky darkening, swirling with energy. He felt the weight of uncounted battles on his shoulders, the spirits of fallen warriors urging him onward. But let the heavens bear witness to my wrath. He held Mjolnir with all his might, the hammer spinning through the air like a comet of vengeance. Hrungnir, taken aback, raised his shield instinctively. But Thor's strike was not to be trifled with. The hammer collided with the shield, creating a cataclysmic shockwave that echoed through the valley, knocking the giants to their knees. The force of the blow shattered Hrungnir's stone shield, sending fragments scattering like stars across the battlefield. The giant reeled, a look of disbelief etched upon his granite-like face. "What witchcraft is this?" he howled, staggering backward. Thor seized the moment, charging forward with Mjolnir raised high. "This is the power of the Aesir," he roared, and with a mighty swing, he struck Hrungnir squarely in the chest. The impact sent the giant flying, tumbling through the air until he crash-landed into a deep ravine, the earth shaking with his fall. A silence enveloped the battlefield, a hush fell over the giants. Thor stood tall, triumphant, breathing heavily, lightning crackling around him, illuminating the remnants of the battle. Yet in that moment of glory, he felt a tremor beneath his feet. The ground quaked as Hrungnir, though wounded, rose like a mountain. "Foolish god!" Hrungnir bellowed, his voice filled with rage. "You cannot defeat me. I shall claim your hammer, and with it, the power of thunder." Thor's heart raced. He had only momentarily stalled the giant. The battle was far from over, and the stakes had risen. The thunder god felt the weight of destiny pressing upon him, an echo of ancient prophecies whispering of challenges yet to come. With a fierce battle cry, Thor hurled himself into the fray once more, refusing to yield. He knew that this clash was more than a mere contest of strength, it was a testament to the spirit of honor, a struggle against fate itself. As the storm swirled overhead, the battle raged on, a dance of thunder and stone, light and shadow. The giants watched, their hearts divided between fear and admiration, as the thunder god fought with every ounce of strength and honor bestowed upon him. But deep within, a dread began to gnaw at Thor's heart. He could feel the strain on Mjolnir, the whispers of fate warning him that even the strongest of hammers could shatter under the weight of destiny's cruel hand. And so, the legend of Thor's challenge against Hrungnir unfolded, filled with the echoes of thunder, the cries of giants, and the fierce heart of a god who would not back down, no matter the cost. Yet, as the skies darkened further, and the crackle of lightning intensified, the question lingered: how long could he withstand the giant's might before the very essence of Mjolnir itself would be tested? Only time would unveil the truth as the epic battle loomed, teetering on the edge of destiny itself. The valley, once vibrant with the clash of thunder and stone, now simmered in anticipation as Thor faced Hrungnir, the giant rising defiantly from the ravine. The air was thick with tension, and even the gods of Asgard held their breaths, witnessing the fate of the thunder god unfold in real time. Grim determination etched upon his face, Thor tightened his grip on Mjolnir, feeling the power coursing through the hammer. He knew he had but one chance to claim victory and protect his realm. "You will not rise from this again," he bellowed, channeling the storm brewing above. With a mighty leap, Thor soared into the air, summoning a bolt of lightning that crackled from the clouds, illuminating the darkened sky. It split overhead, striking Mjolnir with divine energy. The thunder god plummeted toward Hrungnir, the hammer poised for a devastating blow. "Is this all you can muster?" Hrungnir mocked, raising his colossal arms to shield his face. Thor's heart raced with fury and focus as he descended like an avenging angel, Mjolnir carving a radiant path through the gloom. In a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, Thor unleashed his strike. The hammer collided with Hrungnir with a sound that resonated like a cataclysmic explosion, a thunderous roar that sent shockwaves through the land. The earth itself trembled, and the giants watching from the rocky cliffs gasped, their bravado wilting under the immense power of the blow. But Hrungnir, though battered, remained stubbornly defiant. The giant staggered but did not fall. "You fight like a god desperate for approval," he roared, his voice laced with both anger and respect. "But I will drink from the chalice of your defeat. Defeat, it is you who shall taste the bitterness of loss." Thor retorted, determination igniting a wildfire within him. He leaped back to regain his footing, the crackling energy of the storm swirling around him, wrapping him in a shroud of thunderous might. Realizing the battle was escalating, Thor felt the weight of destiny crushing down harder with each clash of their titanic forms. The whispers of fate grew louder, warning him of the dire consequences that awaited if he were to falter. But he steeled himself, remembering the honor of the Aesir and the sacred duty bestowed upon him. With a ferocious battle cry, Thor charged again, unleashing a flurry of strikes aimed at Hrungnir's exposed sides. Each blow ignited arcs of lightning, and the air vibrated with the sound of thunderous retribution. The giants recoiled, witnessing the raw power of the thunder god embodied in each strike. Yet Hrungnir, driven by primal fury, retaliated with fierce swipes of his colossal fists. The giant's movements, while slow, carried the weight of mountains, and Thor barely dodged the first punch that sent a shockwave through the ground, cracking the earth beneath him. "You dance well, Thunder God, but can you keep up?" Hrungnir taunted, lashing out again. Thor rolled to the side just in time, feeling the wind of the giant's fist graze his shoulder. He surged back to his feet, adrenaline coursing through him, igniting his senses. "I can do more than dance, giant. I can summon storms." Thor shouted, raising Mjolnir high as the sky darkened even more, the clouds swirling ominously. Drawing upon the primal forces of nature, he called forth a tempest that began to swirl around him, lightning flashing like the claws of a beast ready to strike. With a primal roar that echoed through the realms, Thor hurled Mjolnir again, the hammer spinning through the air, imbued with the essence of the storm. Hrungnir attempted to deflect the blow with a raised arm, but Thor's strike was too fierce. The impact rang out, a deafening crack, and a fissure opened beneath Hrungnir's feet, swallowing dirt and stone. But even as he staggered, the giant's resolve hardened. "Your storms cannot break me, Thor. I am the mountain, the earth itself," he howled, his voice a blend of rage and determination. The battle shifted, and in an instant, Hrungnir lunged forward, grabbing a massive boulder from the ground, the weight of it seeming trivial to him. Thor's eyes widened as he realized the threat. With a swift motion, Hrungnir held the boulder, a projectile of earth and fury aimed directly at the Thunder Goddess' chest. Thor barely had time to react, raising Mjolnir in a desperate gambit. The boulder collided with the hammer, and for one hot-stopping instant, Thor felt the tremor of fate shake him to his core. The hammer vibrated violently, and the force of the impact sent him flying backward. It wasn't just a physical blow, it struck at the very essence of his being. Dust and debris exploded around him, shrouding the battlefield in a grey mist. The giants cheered, their voices a cacophony of triumph, believing they witnessed the fall of the Thunder God. "See how easily he falters, Hrungnir, the true king of strength," they chanted, their confidence emboldened. But Thor, though battered, rose from the dust, fury igniting in his eyes. "Do you think me weak?" he thundered, his voice a rumble that echoed through the valley. Mjolnir, though shaken, felt alive in his grasp, a bond forged in the flames of battle. As he climbed to his feet, Thor felt a surge of energy, the storm above roared back to life, lightning crackling in response to his indomitable will. "You have awakened the storm within me, giant," he declared, and once more he hurled himself into the fray, lightning trailing behind him like the wings of a tempest. The two titans clashed again, the very ground beneath them splitting as they exchanged blows. Each strike was a testament to their wills, thunder against stone, fury against ancient strength. They battled fiercely, neither willing to yield, as the earth itself seemed to shatter with the intensity of their conflict. Yet amid the chaos, Thor felt a flicker of doubt creeping into his heart. Mjolnir had been forged in the heart of a dying star, a symbol of his power. But as the battle raged on, he could feel its strength waning. Each blow felt heavier, each swing a test of his resolve. Summoning all his strength, he pushed the death aside. "I am Thor, the protector of Asgard," he roared, channeling the spirit of his homeland, the countless warriors who had fought and fallen for honor. "I will not falter." With renewed vigor, he unleashed a series of rapid strikes, each blow imbued with the essence of thunder, lightning arcing around Mjolnir like a living creature. Hrungnir, for the first time, faltered under the relentless onslaught. The giant's confidence wavered as the ground trembled beneath his feet. But in a moment of desperation, Hrungnir gritted his teeth and retaliated with a thunderous roar, swinging both arms wide, attempting to catch Thor off guard. The Thunder God had no time to dodge as the force of the strike sent him sprawling back, crashing to the ground with a heavy thud. The giants roared with glee, savoring the moment of triumph. "Behold, the fall of the mighty Thor," they chanted, their voices rising in a dark symphony of victory. But as Thor lay on the ground, a fire flickered within him. He stared at the sky, remembering the faces of warriors long gone, the laughter of his fellow gods, and the honor that bound him to Asgard. "I will rise," he bellowed, the words echoing through the valley. With every ounce of strength remaining, he grasped Mjolnir, feeling the hammer's energy surge back to life. Summoning the tempest within, he thrust Mjolnir into the air, calling forth a maelstrom of lightning that roared down from the heavens, striking the hammer with a blinding flash. The crack of thunder that followed was deafening, a celestial proclamation of Thor's resilience. With renewed might, he surged to his feet, lightning dancing around him, illuminating the darkness with a fierce light. "I am the storm, I am Thor," he declared, his voice rising above the chaos. Hrungnir's eyes widened, realizing too late the terrible power Thor had summoned. The thunder god charged forward once more, Mjolnir crackling with energy, and with a roar that split the heavens, he swung the hammer harder, faster, and with the weight of countless destinies behind it. The impact was cataclysmic. Hrungnir staggered back, his colossal form crashing to the ground with a thunderous crack. The earth trembled, and the air sizzled with the residue of the storm. Silence enveloped the valley, the giant's jeers fading into hushed disbelief. Thor stood tall, breathing heavily, Mjolnir crackling with energy in his hand. This is not just a battle of strength, but a testament to honor. Today, the giants learned that strength is not just in size, but in spirit, he proclaimed, his voice echoing like thunder from the mountains. As the dust settled, the giants stood frozen, their triumphant roars replaced by an ominous silence. They beheld the mighty Hrungnir, who lay crumpled like a fallen mountain, his chest heaving with labor breaths. The ground trembled beneath Thor's feet, the remnants of their battle echoing like distant thunder. Yet in the eye of that silence, a lingering dread seeped into the hearts of the onlookers. This silence was not merely an absence of sound, it was the calm before a storm, a warning from the face that the battle had not yet reached its true conclusion. The air crackled with tension, and the unyielding storm clouds overhead swirled ominously, hinting at a deeper, darker destiny yet to unfold. "Rise, Hrungnir," Thor called, his voice echoing like a war cry across the valley. "Face your fate if you dare." He knew that victory was fleeting, the giants were not easily cowed, and Hrungnir's spirit was too fierce to be extinguished by a single blow. With a guttural roar, Hrungnir slowly pushed himself up, each motion a testament to the indomitable will of giants. "You think you have won, Thunder God," he spat, blood staining his granite skin. "I will not submit so easily. The earth may shake, but I am the mountain. I will rise again." Thor's heart thundered in his chest as he realized the giant still had fight left in him. The weight of the storm loomed large above, and he felt the pull of fate tightening around him. "Then let us end this," he shouted, a flame igniting in his azure eyes. Drawing upon every ounce of strength, Thor summoned a surge of lightning from the heavens, channeling it through Mjolnir. The hammer glowed with a fierce light, and he stood resolute, ready to unleash the storm within. "For honor, for Asgard," he roared, and with a mighty swing, he sent a bolt of pure lightning hurtling toward Hrungnir. But as the lightning arched through the sky, Hrungnir raised his arms, a defiant growl escaping his lips. "Foolish god, I am not just a giant, I'm your doom." As the bolt struck, he absorbed the energy, his body glowing with an unearthly light, a fusion of thunder and stone, fury and vengeance. The air crackled with electric energy as Thor watched in horror. No mortal nor god had ever withstood such a relentless surge before. "By Odin's name, this cannot be," he thundered, feeling a chill course through his veins. In that moment, he understood the true nature of their struggle. It was a battle not only of strength but of will, spirit, and the very essence of their beings. Hrungnir, now transformed by the storm's power, surged forward with renewed vigor. "I will crush you, Thor. Your lightning is nothing but a fleeting spark before the might of a giant." He lunged, fists like boulders poised to smash the thunder god into the earth. With reflexes honed by countless battles, Thor leaped aside, narrowly avoiding the crushing blow. The impact sent a shockwave that shook the very foundations of the mountains, and the giants watched in awe. "Is that all you can do?" Thor taunted, his heart racing. But deep down, he felt the weight of the world pressing upon him, and the fear of defeat clawed at the edges of his resolve. The battle raged on, each exchange of blows echoing like celestial symphonies amidst the backdrop of a brewing storm. The valley became their arena, a sacred ground where thunder and stone collided. The giants bore witness, their loyalties wavering as they saw the raw power of both combatants. "Your strength is impressive, Thor, but it will not save you." Hrungnir roared, summoning the earth to rise against the thunder god. The ground beneath Thor's feet quaked, fissures opening, and boulders erupted from the soil as the giant wielded nature's fury against him. "Mjolnir, grant me your strength," Thor shouted, raising the hammer high above his head. The air crackled with anticipation. He felt the weight of the storm within, urging him to unleash its fury once more. Gathering his courage, he summoned a tempest of lightning, striking the fist-sized rocks mid-air, exploding them into dust. "Enough of this!" Thor bellowed, channeling lightning like a living creature, illuminating the valley in a blinding flash. He surged forward, Mjolnir humming with the power of 1,000 storms, and with a primal roar, he struck Hrungnir's shoulder, the force of the blow resonating like a thunderclap. The giant staggered, the shock of the impact sending him sprawling once more. "You cannot break me, Thor," he gasped, gritting his teeth, struggling against the pain. but with each strike, Thor felt the tide of battle shifting. He could sense the giant's resolve wavering, the cracks in his confidence growing wider. "Then I shall break you," Thor declared, pressing forward with relentless ferocity. With every swing of Mjolnir, he unleashed the storm, bolts of lightning illuminating the battlefield in a furious dance of light and shadow. The giants watched, fear mingling with marvel as Thor's power surged through the valley. Suddenly, with a roar, Hrungnir swung his massive fist once more. This time, Thor was ready. He dodged to the side, using the giant's momentum against him, encountered with a devastating strike to Hrungnir's knee. The sound echoed like a cosmic drum, a warning to all who would defy the gods. "Yields, Hrungnir," Thor shouted, the words filled with thunderous authority. "Your strength pales before the might of thunder. It is time for you to face the consequences of your hubris." Yet the giant, fueled by anger and pain, would not relent. "You may have stolen my power, but I shall not be defeated. I will rise again and again until you are nothing but ash." Hrungnir roared, his voice reverberating through the valley. But in that moment of defiance, Thor felt a shift within him, a realization that transcended the clash of titans. "Then let this be our final battle," he cried, determination burning brighter than the storm. With one last surge of energy, he called upon the very essence of the storm, feeling the weight of destiny coalesce around him. Lightning danced from the heavens, a celestial chariot descending to guide his hand, and with a final, resounding cry, he held Mjolnir toward Hrungnir with all the might of the cosmos. Time slowed as the hammer sailed through the air, a comet of divine judgment, illuminating the valley in a blinding light. Hrungnir, realizing his impending doom, raised his hands in a futile attempt to shield himself. "No, I am Earth." The hammer collided with the giant's chest, an explosion of energy that resonated through the very core of the earth. The impact unleashed a maelstrom of thunder that echoed for miles, shaking the foundations of the mountains and sending tremors rippling through the hearts of all who bore witness. As the dust settled, the echoes of battle faded into a haunting stillness. The giants stood in stunned silence, gazing upon a fallen leader who lay defeated and motionless upon the ground. Thor stood tall, Mjolnir still crackling with energy in his hand, breathing heavily as he looked upon the fallen giant. "Let this be a lesson to all who dare challenge the gods," Thor declared, his voice ringing with authority. "We are not to be trifled with, for the storm has chosen its champion." But amid the silence, a dark shadow loomed over the valley. From the depths of the mountains, a rumble echoed, a sign that the giants were not done yet. The ground shook and fissures cracked open, revealing monstrous creatures, titans of chaos born from the shadows. The giants had summoned their greatest beast in a desperate bid to reclaim their honor. "Thor," shouted one of the Aesir, a warrior of valor. "The giants will not stand for this defeat. We must prepare for the onslaught." As the great beast bellowed, Thor's heart pounded, but he felt a surge of pride in his veins. He had faced down a giant and emerged victorious, but the battle was far from over. United with his fellow warriors, he raised Mjolnir to the sky, the storm answering his call, ready to defend Asgard from the wrath of the giants and their monstrous kin. "Then let them come," Thor roared, his voice echoing like thunder across the valley. "In the name of honor and the Aesir, we will stand and fight." And so, as the sky darkened and the storm raged overhead, the battlefield became a stage for a new chapter in the epic saga of gods and giants, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to challenge the fates. The clash of thunder and stone resumed, and the legend of Thor would unfold into the annals of time, echoing through the ages as a tale of perseverance, honor, and the eternal struggle for glory against the darkness. As the ground trembled and dark shadows spilled forth from the mountains, Thor's heart quickened with both dread and determination. The giants had summoned their foul kin, monstrous creatures birthed from chaos and shadows, eager to reclaim the honor of their fallen leader. The air thickened with the scent of earth and malice, and Thor felt the weight of fate pressing down upon him like a storm cloud, heavy with the promise of rain. "Stand firm, brothers!" Thor shouted to the Aesir gathered at his side, their faces a mix of anger and resolve. "The giants may think they can overwhelm us with sheer numbers, but we shall show them the power of unity and honor. We are the storm." Loki, the trickster god, stepped beside Thor, his eyes glinting with mischief but laced with an underlying seriousness. "You think they can summon beasts to match your thunder? Let them come. I've always wanted to see just how much chaos they can unleash," he declared, a smirk tugging at his lips. "You're jesting, won't he save us when they come crashing down upon us?" snarled Freyja, the war goddess, her sword gleaming with the light of the setting sun. "This is no game, Loki. They will fight with the ferocity of their fallen leader in mind." The heavens roared as if answering her plea, and the ground quaked anew. From the fissures in the earth erupted titans of black stone and swelling shadows, beasts that towered over the battlefield, their forms grotesque and terrifying. Each creature had been forged in the depths of the giant's hatred, and they bore down upon the Aesir warriors like a dark tide, each stride shaking the very foundations of the valley. With a fierce battle cry, Thor raised Enjolnir high above his head, the hammer crackling with the power of a storm. For honor, for Asgard, he bellowed, and his voice rang out like a clarion call, awakening the spirits of the ancient warriors who had fought and fallen before him. As he charged forward, the ground beneath him shuddering with every step, Thor felt the surge of energy from the hammer infuse him with divine strength. He swung Mjolnir, summoning a tempest that followed in his wake, bolts of lightning arcing through the air and striking the Norse beast, illuminating the darkness with blinding light. The creature howled, a sound that shook the very mountains, as the energy coursed through it and it collapsed, a pile of shifting shadows. "Onward!" Thor commanded, rallying his fellow gods. He dashed into the fray, embodying the storm itself as he struck down foes, each swing of Enjolnir a brother to the thunder that echoed throughout the valley. The giants watched, their faces twisted in rage and disbelief as their monstrous kin fell before the might of the thunder god. But the giants were relentless. They surged forth, their war cries reverberating in the hollow air, and behind them, the beasts clawed at the earth, eager to unleash their wrath. One such beast, a grotesque amalgamation of fangs and shadow, lunged at Thor, its maw wide as a chasm. Thor pivoted just in time, dodging its fangs as Enjolnir swung in a graceful arc, catching the creature on the side of its head. The impact echoed like a clap of thunder through the valley, sending shockwaves through the air. The beast staggered but did not fall, rage glowing in its soulless eyes. "Brute!" Thor roared, feeling the storm beneath his skin. "You will not take my home." He pivoted again, this time launching himself into the air. Lightning crackled in his wake as he soared upward, poised to strike. With a mighty cry, he held Mjolnir, the hammer spinning through the air like a comet, its path illuminated by arcs of lightning. He struck the beast squarely on the top of its head, and the creature roared in agony, collapsing to the ground in an explosion of shadow and chaos. But even as Thor celebrated this small victory, a low rumble echoed through the valley, and he turned to face a monstrous form that broke through the ranks of giants. It loomed larger than the others, its skin like molten rock, oozing with darkness and malice. "Foolish god, you think you can win?" it bellowed, its voice a cacophony of thunder and malice. "I am Garm, the guardian of the abyss, and your day is done." Thor's heart raced, yet he met the creature's gaze with unwavering defiance. "You are but a shadow of the darkness, Garm." He thrust Mjolnir before him, feeling the energy hum with anticipation. "I will cast you back into the void." With renewed spirit, Thor charged Garm, Mjolnir crackling with divine energy. Lightning arced around him, illuminating the dark beast as he leaped forward, ready to strike. But Garm was faster, swiping at Thor with a massive claw, speed a testament to the horrors that lurked in the shadows. Thor barely dodged the strike, feeling the rush of wind as the claw swept past him. "You will have to do better than that," he shouted, rolling to the side and regaining his stance. He swung Mjolnir, unleashing a bolt of lightning that struck Garm across the chest. The creature screamed, a guttural sound that struck fear into the hearts of its allies. But Garm, undeterred, charged forward once more, his massive form barreling toward Thor. "Your thunder cannot save you," it roared as it lunged, teeth bared, trying to close the distance. With a fierce determination, Thor braced himself, digging his feet into the ground. "I will not waver," he declared, summoning the storm's fury. Gathering every ounce of power within him, he raised Mjolnir high. "By the might of Asgard, I will smite you." As Garm lunged, Thor swung Mjolnir downwards. The hammer met the giant beast's skull with a cataclysmic force, unleashing a shockwave that knocked the surrounding giants off their feet. Garm's roar was silenced as it fell, crumpling into a heap of darkness, the ground shaking beneath its weight. The giants gasped, the tide of battle shifting as Thor's fury ignited the embers of hope within the hearts of his fellow gods. "Onward, brothers and sisters," he shouted, rallying his comrades. "We will not allow them to take our home. We stand united against the darkness." With the storm dancing around him, Thor raced forward, Mjolnir crackling with energy, leading the charge against the remaining beasts. The fury of battle raged, each swing of his hammer sending shockwaves through the ranks of chaos. The giants strained against the tide, the numbers dwindling as the Aesir gods fought with fervor. Yet, in the midst of the chaos, Thor caught a glimpse of a familiar silhouette in the distance. Loki. The trickster god was engaged in his own battle, surrounded by a horde of shadowy beasts. Each flick of his wrist conjured illusions that confounded their senses, but even he was beginning to falter under the sheer weight of their numbers. "Lucky?" Thor shouted, trying to cut through the cacophony of battle. "Hold fast, I am coming." He charged toward his brother, Imjolnir alight with a storm as fury felling beasts with every swing. Loki glanced back, a mix of mischief and earnestness in his eyes. "Ah, Thor, come save your favorite brother. When to you," he quipped, dodging another creature that lunged at him, the shadows twisting around them like a living entity. With a fierce battle cry, Thor cleaved through the ranks of beasts that stood between him and Loki, the hammer's energy igniting the darkness in vibrant sparks. "Enough of your trickery, brother," he snapped, smirking. "Let us end this once and for all." As they fought back to back, they became a whirlwind of thunder and illusion, each finding strength in the other's resolve. Together, they turned the tide of battle, pushing back the horde of shadowy beasts that sought to engulf them. But the giants, sensing their impending defeat, rallied with a roar, their anger fueling a chaotic charge. Thor's heart raced, and he glanced back at the battle as the giants surged forward, their eyes filled with fury. "Loki, we must finish this," Thor shouted, gripping Imjolnir tighter. "We cannot allow them to regain their power." "Agreed," Loki replied, a flicker of determination flashing in his eyes as he conjured an illusion, a myriad of twisting serpents that coiled and struck at the giants. "Let us give them a show they won't forget." The brothers surged forward, cutting through the chaos with newfound resolve. With every swing of Imjolnir and every illusion cast, they carved a path through the giants, forcing them to retreat and face their own death. As the giants fell, the ground beneath them crumbled, and the storm raged overhead, lightning crackling like the applause of the gods themselves. "This is for Hrolnir," Thor roared, his voice ringing out above them.